Welcome back. In this video we're going to take a look at useImperativeHandle. This is one of the underrated React hooks that has a very interesting characteristic to it. So let's go and see it in action. In React, data is passed from parents to child using props, as you can see here. And this is called a unidirectional data flow. The parent component cannot directly call a function defined in the child component or reach down and grab a value from it. In certain circumstances, we would like that our parent, or like here our parent, go down to the child and grab the data, which is a function or a value that it requires for itself. To achieve this, we would use the useImperativeHandle, which allows us to expose a value, state, or a function inside the child component to the parent component through the ref. And of course we can specify which data we want to send to the parent from the child. So let's go and see two examples from the real world. Alright, here I have a form with 3 input boxes and 1 focus button. We would like that when we click on this button, this input box gets focused on. Here I am in my VS Code. I would go to the form. You can see that here I have a div with 3 inputs and a button. And the input has just the input type text. First, we need to define a ref here that is going to be used by the form file. So I would call it input ref and pass it here to the input. Like so. And we would define a useImperativeHandle here. It would take 3 arguments, but for now we're just focusing on the first 2. The third is the dependency list that we can skip for this example. So we're passing the ref here and a function. This function will return an object of the key pair values that will be used by the form. So I would call my function my focus to be explicit, and then I would say that input ref current dot focus. So we're calling the focus function on the input ref. This ref is not the input ref, it's the ref that is coming from the parent. So we would get it here. So props and ref, and we're passing component through a forward ref. Like so. And it's better to pass the rest of the props here as well. So now we are done, and the focus on this input has been called by my focus that is being used by the useImperativeHandle. So let's go to the form and implement it there. First I need to use a ref here. So let's call it input ref is use ref again. And let's pass it to this one. And for button, we would say that on click, we should go to the input ref, to the current value, and call the my focus function. Like so. So now let's see it in action. If I go here and press focus, I get an error. Let's see what's the error. This is correct. Let's go to the input. This should be a function. So something like this. Let's test it again. And when we press focus, this is focused. Of course, we can have it on the component mount. So for example, we could say, and pass it here, and here just call this function. And as you can see, when the form renders, the second input box is focused by default. In this example, we have a modal that is defined here, and the modal is very simple. It just has a div inside with a button to close it. And here we control the open and close state of the modal using a state here, open modal and set open modal, and with pressing on the button you can open the modal. So if I use this file here, like so, and go back here, and I press the open, the modal opens and I can close it here. This is working fine. But if I open the console, you can see that whenever I press the open modal, this whole component re-renders, and that is what we don't want to happen. Why is that happening? Because the state is changing here. So we would like to put all the state into the modal itself, and when the button click, we reach down to the modal and call that function that is used for opening the modal. So first go to the modal. I would grab this part from here into here. I'm not using any of these functions. Let's say this is useState, and I would define a useImperativeHandle here to expose some values. The first one is the ref that I get from the parent. The second one is a function that will render a object. Let's call the first one open modal, and this just calls the set open modal that we have here, set open modal. It should be a function, of course, like so, and we set the open modal to be true. So this is our useImperativeHandle. The rest is the same. And here we should pass in the props and the ref that we get. And of course we need to forward the ref. Okay, go to the parent, which is this one. Now I don't want this anymore. I'm not passing these values down here. Let's define the ref to be used on the modal. So I would say ref is useRef, and then handle open modal. It will go to the ref, to the current, and it will call the open modal, which is defined here, like so. And here on the modal, I need to say that the ref is the ref that we are passing. So I don't need the state here. Let's go and see. Now you can see that I can open the modal and I can close it, and it's not rendered anymore. Great, so this was two of the common use cases with the useImperative layout. I hope you have enjoyed watching the video and learned something. See you in the next video.